Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sim Racer Hub 165 right here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, race number one in the Team Watson Racing Setups chase for the Output Cup. I'm your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator, and as you can see on screen, we have our old overlays back. Yay, boom, confetti. As you can see, we do have some cars out there on track. Currently looking at Patrick Orr in the 18 car. He's got Thomas Harmon and Brian Pizzakemi there with him. We're looking for a good field of cars here tonight. 23 cars going to be signed up for the race. We've only got 19 who have set lap times at the moment. See, all the drivers are on screen there. Oh, big time into the fence. I think that was the 13 of Travis Massio. As these three continue to battle on. I had a pit party about 5 minutes ago. Patrick Orr is on 13 lap tyres, while Pizzakemi and Harmon both on 17 lap old tyres. And I picked the wrong time to do this recording because I just started sneezing like a madman. But I'm super excited to be here for the start of the chase for the championship. Unfortunately, this one could not be conducted live, as I had prior obligations, which rendered me unable to be here for the race. As our round goes to 19 of Logan McAnally. He hit the first part of the wall there and did not skid into the bits. As you can see, standing on top of the timetables right now, the return of the Andrew Hennessy in the 94 car. Just 0.018 of a second behind him. The 74 of Austin Collins in the Taco Bell car. We've got the Cookie Monster himself, Corey Cook in third. Jonas Marquez in fourth. Output renowned author, Jonas Marquez. And Thad Baylor right there in fifth as well in the 21 car. Pizzakemi and Harmon in sixth and seventh. And Patrick Orr currently down the order in 18th. But it looks like these guys are working on a little bit of a longer run here. So we'll see if they go for another pit party or not. Normally I would call out to these guys when they do pit parties and the such, but unfortunately, with me not being here, I couldn't organise one for the start of the broadcast. We'll just have to wait and watch to see if we get one. See, also on track is Austin Collins. We've got Thad Baylor on track. Jonas Marquez is on track. Chris Champeau in the 12. He's currently in 12th. Jack Sanders, Logan Lansford. And I was just watching an old clip today of Thomas's Daytona win when he had contact with a couple of cars, and Logan Lansford had a third place finish in that race as a few cars spear down onto pit road. Pizzakemi made it quite nicely. I didn't see if Thomas made it or not, or whether Thomas is still on track. Looks like Thomas is still on track. He went an extra lap. So that means we could be warming up for a pit party here as Logan McAnally spins out the model after taking the top step. A 30.048, so just 0.037 faster than Hennessy right now. As we see the Taco Bell machine of Austin Collins currently in P3. Yeah, everyone just rolling off of the pit lane there. '39, James Watson. Currently down in 19th. Almost 4/10 off of the lead time. He's the last car to have put in a lap time, as far as the order is concerned. So hopefully he can pick that up in the pit parties here. As we've just about come to a standstill on the back straight. There's Jack Sanders in the 25 car. Dad Failer in the 21.
Oh, no.
Just behind. We got Crocker in the 11. See the 88, Jonathan Hernandez as well. As they come off of turn 4, the metaphorical pace car has come off the track. And we're off and racing. Ooh, smoke from the back. One car and multiple cars all spun out. There's Logan McCannley. I see Patrick Orr and Brian Pizzakemi all coming to grief here. McCannley just holding the throttle flat there for a couple of donuts. Going to do a couple more if he doesn't say so himself. Oh, Reggie Ortega having a mistake there. Unfortunately, Chris Chapeau caught up in that one. This race definitely ain't no super speedway, as Cletus McFarlane found out on Friday in the ARCA race. Oh, James. Looked like he got a little bit high there coming off the corner. Could be struggling with feeling tight in the car. Three wide. So going through turn straight 4. Oh, Travis, who was on the outside, got a little bit of a hurry up there from the 25 of Jack Sanders. The other two involved, Jonathan Hernandez and Thomas Harmon. Scott Rickett has moved up into second. Ken Campbell third. Andrew Hennessy dropped all the way down to 4th now in the standings. Austin Collins still holding on to 5th. Thomas Harmon has moved up to 8th. Ryan Pizzakemi's dropped down to 12th. Although, to be fair, Pizzakemi wasn't able to really participate in this pit party. Taken out there early on in the running. Travis just about getting to the inside of Thomas Harmon there. Oh, 88 Hernandez, he definitely caught the fence that time. Got about 9 laps left here in practice. Or just a little bit over 6.5 minutes. They are doing 30-second lap times here as their fast laps. Yeah, they're almost breaking into the 29s. Oh, contact. That's Sanders, and I think that was Failor. Oh, big whack to Failor. I think that was from maybe Logan Lansford. Means that James Watson also caught up in that. Jack Sanders continued on. Time's ticking down. These guys still pushing on pretty hard. Let's see. Scott Rickett and Ken Campbell still out there on 13 lap old tyres. So too Jeremy Cocker. Jonathan Hernandez, Jonas Marquez, and Travis Masia all out there on 13 lap old tyres. The next best is 10 from Chris Champeau. And then it's 6 from Matt Horton, who has just gone to the pits. Taking another quick look here. Logan McAnally back to the top from Matt Horton. Thomas Harmon up into third. Scott Rickard, Ken Campbell, Andrew Hennessy, Jimmy Cocker, Thad Failor, Kyle Kraus, and Jonathan Hernandez in 10th. 20 cars have seen the track so far and got some lap times down. I'm seeing conflicting things here. On one screen it says I got Kyle Kraus in 9th, on the other one it says I got Austin Collins in 9th. I don't know which one's lying to me and which one's not. Where is Austin Collins on this list? Yeah, so I'm assuming that the Kyle Kraus I'm seeing on my other screen is actually Austin Collins. But I don't see Austin in my list there. But I know Austin has definitely logged laps. So Kraus, Banks, and Griesbaum, the only 3 to set a lap time. There's one car all the way down on the grass there in turn 1. Just about clouding into that inside fence. Not sure who that was. They flashed by so quickly. A draft can both help and hinder you here at this track. Can help you get some decent runs going. But in the corners, it's definitely going to put you in a very sticky situation and make you fairly tight. You have to do everything in your power to just run slightly different line to the car in front of you. So that way you can keep the clean air on your nose. So you actually have the ability to turn. And Campbell going for a move on Jonathan Hernandez. Oh, there's contact. Hernandez got right reared into the fence. There's Kyle Kraus on the track now. And my other screen has now corrected itself. Kyle Kraus down in 20th. Still waiting on Banks and Griesbaum to set lap times, if they're going to. Griesbaum's usually a late bloomer when it comes to setting a time. But what we're going to do is we are going to go to a commercial break. And when we come back, we will have the results of qualifying and what your starting grid is going to be here for the first race in the chase for the championship, brought to you by Team Rotson Racing Setups, right here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. It is the Sim Racer Hub 165, and we'll be back with you shortly. Welcome back to the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Sim Racer Hub 165 here in the Team Watson Racing Setups output chase for the Cup. As you can see, qualifying has just finished. We're about to see our grid. We get ready for it to appear up on the screen. Off the pole, we'll have the two of Reggie Ortega. On his outside, he's already tasted victory lane once this week. Kyle Kraus in the 7. We've got Andrew Hennessy in the 94. He'll be out of third with the 61, the Cookie Monster himself. Corey Cook out of P4. P5 will be the 88 of Jonathan. No, P5 will be the 05 of Scott Rickard with P6. The 38 of Thomas Harmon. P7 will be the 11 of Jimmy Cocker with P8, the 35 of Joshua Banks. P9, we will see the 88 of Jonathan Hernandez. And P10, the 68 of Andrew Griesbaum. P11 will have the 13 of Travis Massey with P12, the 12 of Chris Champo. And 13th, lucky for some, unlucky for others, Ken Campbell in the 15 car with P14, the 39 of James Watson. P15 and the last car eligible for the Hard Charger Award, Jack Sanders in the 25 with P16, the 74 of Austin Collins, the first car to not qualify. P17 will have the 19 of Logan McAnally with the 89 of Matt Horton in 18th. 19th position, we will see the 21 of Thad Falo with the 20 position going to the 18 of Patrick Orr. 21st, we'll see Brian Pizzakemi in the 78 car with 22nd, the double O of Jonas Marquez, and wrapping up the field, starting from 23rd position, the Big L himself, the 50 of Logan Lansford. That is our starters and drivers here for the first race in the chase for the championship. 112 laps to settle it here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Just waiting for them to roll off of the pit lane. And when I said Kyle Kraus has already tasted victory lane once here this week, on I think it was Saturday at the truck race, the team that he is a part of won and went to victory lane. So he was in victory lane for the celebrations there. And let's see if he can taste victory lane here tonight as a driver. The field slowly snakes their way around turns 1 and 2. Down through the back straight. It's important to remember the first start is on green. All the subsequent restarts will be on the leader inside of the restart zone. See one car there dropping to the back. I have a sneaking suspicion that might have been the 25. Our 15th place Sanders. But here we go. Remember, the leader has lane choice for the restarts, but not the initial start. He can go anytime after he enters the restart box. The pace car is in, and the first race in the Team Watson Racing Setups chase for the Output Cup is underway. And what a start from Kyle Kraus on the outside. Looked like Reggie Ortega spun his tyres a little bit coming into the start zone there. And Kyle Kraus comfortably into the lead of this race, going through turns 1 and 2. Reggie Ortega starting to fight back now on the inside line. And let's see who is going to lead lap number 1. It looks like it's going to be Reggie. Look at the run he's got on the inside here in 3 and 4. Reggie Ortega will lead lap number 1 after the incredible start that Kyle Kraus got there. Side by side for third, Corey Cook and Andrew Hennessy. My apologies, Andrew Hennessy. They're looking pretty strong right now as well. Hopefully they can keep that up as the race goes on. Now Hennessy's starting to lose out on some positions. He's side by side now with Joshua Banks for 4th. As it looks like the 7 about to start fighting for the lead again. To the inside he goes of Reggie Ortega. Kyle Kraus, already a winner once this week at Charlotte. Let's see if he can get another. As he'll just surge his nose ahead of Reggie. Reggie pinched him hard coming out of turn 4. And Reggie will maintain the lead of the race. Now this race is all about strategy. 112 laps. Got to pick the right moment to pit as here comes Joshua Banks up the inside of Corey Cook. He's looking to take over third. And maybe at the same time looking to give a little bit of help here to the Kyle Kraus machine to get him pushed out in front. Andrew Hennessy, I think he's looking after his tyres a little bit, just sitting back there in 5th. As a big blink there for the 61 of Corey Cook, trying to use the alternate dimensions to his advantage. And unfortunately that's allowed him to slip behind the Joshua Banks car. Kyle Kraus struggling to keep that 7 car down on the blue and white line. Reggie Ortega maintains control of the race. I think I just saw the 13 of Travis Massia about the wall a little bit coming into turn 1. Joshua Banks now getting onto the back of the 7, pushing him down the back straight into turn 3. Up the track goes the 7. Had that little bit of overspeed and it just pushed him up the track. And now Reggie Ortega clean and clear out in front. But Joshua Banks not done with yet. He's still on the inside of the Cookie Monster. And it looks like the outside line starting to come into play here, as it just has that slight little bit of a momentum advantage. And down the back straight, you get a huge draft advantage from sticking in line. And things at the front of the field have just kind of mellowed out here a little bit. Although I say that, Corey Cook immediately looks to the inside of Kyle Kraus. Kraus, very heads up driving there, spotted it. And gave him all the room in the world, although he didn't give him much room there on the back straight. Almost dooring each other as they were going along the back straight there. And Corey Cook, look at the speed he has there on the inside line over Kraus. But Kraus with that momentum couldn't quite get it to carry him back, as officially Corey Cook scored second at the line. Kyle Kraus now starting to get some of that momentum advantage, as Joshua Banks would try and look to close that gap there. He couldn't quite get there. Kraus back up in the second. Banks looking to take over third. I think Corey Cook just got a little bit of the side draft effect there. All the dirty air from Banks's nose dumped onto his spoiler. And the yo-yo effect begins. And Banks comfortably back up into third now. See Thomas Harmon just looming there in the distance. We start focusing anywhere and everywhere. See the 13 just up in front of where the camera's positioned. Was looking for a move on Thomas Harmon, couldn't quite get there. Also see the 15 of Ken Campbell looming to the inside of Chris Champeau. Looming, such an interesting word. Right behind that pair is the 19 of Logan McAnally and the 74 of Austin Collins. Both of which had terrible qualifying positions. And it looks like Chris Champeau using that outside line to his advantage now. Not just pulling away from Ken Campbell, but he's going to look at making a move on Jonathan Hernandez as well. But Hernandez got a little bit of an advantage there, experimenting with alternate dimensions. Now Ken Campbell slips up into the outside line behind Chris Champeau. See the 68 Andrew Griesbaum trying to make things difficult for the both of them. Trying to give them both a lion's share of the draft and the dirty air that comes with it. And McCannally trying to be mechanical here on the inside line. Seeing if maybe he can force his way through. But it doesn't look like there's much room for any of those kinds of shenanigans. And Campbell now comes back down to the inside line behind Chris Champeau. Looks like Austin Collins is going to follow him. So that's now Jonathan Hernandez down into the 13th position. Although, make that 14th as McCannally sent one straight up his inside. Threw it in deep, and it stuck. Gonna need a surgeon to get them separated after that one. Back up at the front of the field, I saw some 2x2 action. And it's Joshua Banks trying to defend from the 61 of Corey Cook. I find the right button to press, that's the one that I need. In fact, that's almost the one that I need. That's the one of Thomas Harmon. Now we're on Joshua Banks. He's trying to get to the inside of Corey Cook. I think Corey Cook went to the outside and took the advantage there, as now Thomas Harmon up on the outside by himself. He actually lost a lot of momentum there going into the corner, but coming out of it, he's got a little bit of a speed differential over Banks. Will he take it to the inside or will he take it to the outside? He's going to look inside, but Banks has it covered. Just behind Harmon is Hennessy. And all we need is Hernandez, and then we have the trifecta. Throw in a Horton, and we have the Quinella. Thomas Harmon now gets to the inside of Joshua Banks, in through the tri-oval. Andrew Hennessy bounces off the wall a little bit there on the entry to one. And he will also get to the inside of Banks. Fighting still raging on in the background behind these pairing. And the 05 Scott Rickard trying to get in on this battle as well. Can't quite get there though. He's definitely trying. He's going to go to the outside of Banks now, as I just saw Thomas Harmon shaping up, looking like he was going to make a move up ahead. But maybe that was the 61 that I was seeing of the Cookie Monster himself, Corey Cook, getting to the outside of Kyle Kraus. And he'll take over second. Thomas Harmon trying to follow him through. And Cook now to the inside of Reggie Ortega. Battle for the lead. These guys racing all over the top of each other. Thomas Harmon had a big run, nowhere to take it. So he put it into the back of the Reggie Ortega car, who will run down on the low line. Kyle Kraus getting a little bit tight in this situation. Almost ran up into the side of Hennessy. And now Harmon gets to the outside of Cook, gets into the fence in the middle of the tri-oval. I think that unsettled Hennessy a little bit. He backed off. Hennessy just about clouding the fence in the middle of 1 and 2. They're going to be 3 wide coming off the corner. Scott Rickard, Piggy in the middle. Kyle Kraus on the inside. And they've got it back down to 2x2. And Rickard almost intentionally made it 3 wide there. Although it's probably a good thing he didn't, because I just seen that Kyle Kraus had a big wiggle coming out of turn 4. And Hennessy's looking a little bit vulnerable here. Doesn't seem as fast as he normally does. We have a battle for the lead once more between the 2 and the 6 and the 38. My apologies. Thomas Harmon peeks to the inside, gets his nose just ahead. They're side drafting hard going through the corner. And Reggie Ortega's still going to lead. I think Reggie has led every lap so far. Reggie does have the best lap of the race so far. 29.790. And look at the battle that we got going on here. This is just fantastic. Who says you can't have caution-free racing when you get them going 3 wide for the lead like this? Just about. It's Corey Cook peeked to the outside of Reggie Ortega. Couldn't do anything with it. Just filed back in front of the nose of Andrew Hennessy. But he's going to go to the outside of Harmon. His big time in the fence was the 13 of Massier. But we're still stuck on this battle. It is one for the ages as there was a little bit of a rub there. 3 wide for the lead. Ultra clean racing right now. As Corey Cook will surge his way to the front. They're still 3 wide for second. Reggie Ortega still piggy in the middle. He thought he saw a gap, but it closed very quickly. As Joshua Banks gets to the outside, Andrew Hennessy going for the lead. Scott Rickard now on the bottom. As Thomas Harmon got clear. Joshua Banks is now clear on the outside. Reggie Ortega is probably thanking his lucky stars now that he's not 3 wide anymore. But a 94 of Hennessy has taken the lead from the Cookie Monster. And the Cookie Monster looks like he wants it back. At the line, it's still Hennessy by 3/4 of a car over the 61 of Cook. Hennessy now dropping back as Cook takes over the lead. He clears Hennessy very convincingly. Hennessy straight back down to the inside. It got blocked. And they move back out to the outside of the track. Now Hennessy looking to the inside. Joshua Banks also looking to the inside of Harmon. As I said, we just need to get Hernandez and Horton up here as well. And I can just be hooing my way through all of this. As they're just about 3 wide again, this time for the 4th position. And once more, it is Reggie Ortega, piggy in the middle, as to the outside, there's Austin Collins. Remember, he was the first car to not qualify. He started down in 16th. And look at him go up there in the 5th position. Scott Rickard right there behind him as well. As Hennessy and Harmon goes side by side for second. Harmon trying to use the draft in the corner of the 61. It's not going to work as Hennessy now dives to the inside once he got clear of Harmon. And he'll dive it down in there into turn 3. Similarly, Joshua Banks dives it to the inside of Harmon. Almost contact for our 3rd and 4th place drivers as they come out of turn 4. And that's actually been to Banks' detriment as Austin Collins got to his outside. We also have the Quinella with the C's as well, with Cook, Collins, Campbell, and Kraus. I guess you can include Cocker in there as well, make it a 5-piece. Pentella. I have too much fun with names. Some of them I mispronounce horrifically, but it's still fun. As I'm pretty sure we've had a pass for the lead as Thomas Harmon has taken it. Oh, a little bit loose out of 4 from a bump from Hennessy, and that's allowed the Cookie Monster to maintain the lead going across the line. Harmon's probably ruining Hennessy right now for not letting him lead that lap. But look at Harmon go now to the outside. Big moves from Austin Collins in the background as he gets to the inside of Scott Rickard. Hennessy not having a great run through turns 3 and 4. And, oh, Harmon just clouding the fence. He's trying to side draft so hard going through the tri-oval. Hennessy right on his tail. Harmon running down on the seam. In fact, he was almost right down in the inside lane next to the 61. He got him loose. And now Harmon will take over the lead clean and clear. Will Harmon lead this lap, or will Hennessy find a way to beat him back to the line? I think it's going to be Harmon's lap. So lap 32, officially Harmon's lap. And with that, I think we're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, more racing action will be coming up shortly. So make sure you guys stay tuned. Welcome back to the Sim Racer Hub 165 here on the Aussie Sim Commentator channel for the Team Watson Racing Setups Output Racing Chase for the Cup. And as you can see, right behind Thomas Harmon, there is an angry Mustang just looming. And right behind him, Scott Rickard, no pushover, former series champion. And look at how close Hennessy got there momentarily in turns 1 and 2. And you can hear Thomas Harmon shifting the car going through the corners. Downshifting into the corner, upshifting halfway down the straight. And the battle is still on for the lead. But things have mostly calmed down here at the front of the pack. I say mostly as we've got a battle for third starting to form. But we've also got a battle for the lead as Hennessy gets a good run coming out of 2. What can he do with it? Pulls straight down to the inside of Harmon. Harmon and Hennessy battling it out hard as there's contact. As Hennessy got a little bit tight, pushed up into the door of Harmon. He concedes position as an apology. But he'll still fight just as hard. Going into turns of 1 and 2 this time. Harmon still holding the advantage as Hennessy looks to battle the heresy that he sees in front of him. I was gonna say we're gonna quickly just look through the field here a little bit, see what's going on. But Hennessy once more dives to the inside of Harmon. They're going to go side by side down the back straight. Hennessy will look to have the advantage here in 3 and 4, although he's getting tight again. More contact with Harmon. He missed the bottom by just mere millimeters, and it pushed straight up to the middle of the track. And he couldn't go any higher than the middle of the track, because that's exactly where Thomas Harmon was. Once more, getting to the inside quarter of the Thomas Harmon machine. This time, Austin Collins sitting back there in third. He's looking to join this battle. So too is the 05 of Scott Rickard. Our top 2 had gapped everyone else by a little bit, and now they've caught right back up. I saw James Watson in the background getting a little bit squirrely on the back straight. But look at Collins. He's looking to take advantage. As soon as Hennessy slips up, he will move into second. Drag race to the line. Just about an eighth of the car Thomas Harmon had over Hennessy there. Hennessy will take the lead here going down the back straight. Harmon side drafting. He's got the speed boost. Collins trying to reel them in. Door to door once more. What do they have in store? As now, Collins. I think he gave a little bit of a push there to Hennessy going into turns 1 and 2. Look at where Harmon positioned his car going through turns 1 and 2. They were both on the low side of the track. Hennessy had no room for error going through turns 1 and 2. Collins trying to get the advantage of the absolute outside line as Dorian once more coming out of 4. It didn't work out for him. He's got the momentum down the straight, but he lost a lot in the corners. As Collins lost a lot in the corners. Although look at him go now. He's got to get to the outside. They're going to be 3 wide coming off of turn 2. And Collins is going to take over the lead. Both Hennessy and Harmon squeezed up into the outside line. But here comes the 19 of McAnally to the inside of the 94 machine. He'll still stay in 4th. If people reckon Daytona and Talladega are the lottery races, no way. This is where you can't predict the winner. Charlotte, a very racy track. And it looks like Hennessy's going to take over second from Harmon. Here goes McAnally now to the outside. Although he had to check up, he big time got in the fence. It's going to open up the door for Rickard to get back through. Rickard in the 4th position there at the line. McAnally recovered. And he's going to try and go back on the attack again. Rickard being defended here by Harmon. Hennessy all over the bumper of Collins. Now he's to the inside of Collins. Will this slow them up? Because that's what happened between Hennessy and Harmon. They started going side by side and the rest of the field caught up to them again. Hennessy right down on the bottom. Collins was running the Larson line. He's got the momentum. Will he take it back to the inside? No, he won't. He'll give a big push to Hennessy going down the back straight into turn 3. And Hennessy will now lead some laps. As here goes McAnally. He went around the outside of the other guys. He's now up into 3rd at the line. Harmon trying to fight back on the inside. But McAnally running that Larson line just a little bit better than what Collins was. Although he did just hit the wall coming out of turn 2. It didn't affect his speed. It kind of gave him a little bit of a speed boost. One thing I know for sure is the wall definitely hurts a lot less the closer you are to it when you're racing. And how do I know that? I've experienced it. And so too have my ribs. It looks like the front of the field's starting to get settled out here into single file formation. Have a quick squiz through the field. We've got the camera set anywhere and everywhere, and it goes back to... Where is it going to settle? Is it going to settle here on the Cookie Monster? It looks like it has. Just in front of him is Jimmy Cocker in the 11. And just a little bit behind Joshua Banks in the 35, who was under heavy threat from Reggie Ortega, our pole sitter. Kyle Kraus, our outside pole sitter, has dropped right off. He's down in 19th right now. He had the single lap pace around here, but not quite the race run pace. As we're on lap 51 of 112, we're getting closer to the start of green flag stops. You'll probably start seeing them from about now, honestly. So we'll have to keep an eye on our leaderboard here on the left of the screen and see who is going to be where as far as who's pitting, as Cocker gets to the outside of Pizzakemi. And it looks like Cocker is going to take over that position just in front of them. See Campbell trying to size up Scott Rickard. Oh, and Pizzakemi just about beat Cocker back to the line in that drag race. But Campbell absolutely swinging by the 05 car there of Rickard. Cocker's going to look to make a move on Rickard as well. A little bit of smoke there going through turn 4. Whether it was a blink or a little bit of looseness from someone, I do not know. These cars do have a little bit of looseness in them early in the run, but after that they just tend to trend towards being tight. As Cocker still on the inside of Rickard. He would have thought that he had this move made by now, but it's starting to work against him. As, Rickard made a little mistake. He had to check up so he didn't hit the fence. And now here goes Pizzakemi up the inside. That's Pizzakemi now up into 7th, Cocker up into 6th. And they're all trying to chase down Ken Campbell here for the 5th position. Check back in on our leader, the 94, Andrew Hennessy. And he has Logan McAnally all over his tail. Now just to put this into perspective, Hennessy is a 69.13 I rating, while McAnally is a 45.50. Survey says this will be in Hennessy's favor, but Logan McAnally is an absolutely tenacious driver, and he will be looking to try and get one over on Hennessy here. Just behind him in 3rd is Austin Collins, but he's dropped right off from the back of these guys. He's about 0.7 of a second behind McAnally. Harmon 1.6 off the lead as we reach the halfway point. 56 down, 56 to go. And we have Massia and Faylor in the pits. Looks like we're about to have another one. It is the 7 of Kyle Kraus who's come in. We have Sanders, who's soon to be at threat of going a lap down in the 25 car. A little bit of smoke there on the front straight from the pit stop cycle. Kraus goes a lap down. Now this pit exit can be a little bit treacherous as well. A couple of bumps throughout the entire corner, especially going into 1 and coming out of 2. So the entry and the exit of 1 and 2 can prove to be a little bit tricky, especially in these cars with how low to the ground they are. As we're about to have 59 laps complete. Who's going to pull the trigger first in the top few? I think I can see Campbell and Cook going into the pits. That's a little bit cuckoo. But Griesbaum is going to join them. I would have thought this was a little bit too early. But what would I know? I'm only a commentator. Now, these guys at the front, Hennessy, McAnally, even Austin Collins and Harmon, they'll have to be looking at the pace that Campbell is going to have, and so too with Cook, as Rickard is in the pits. Going to have to look at their pace as they're coming out. Because if they let them go for too long on those fresh tyres, then they're going to be at a disadvantage here at the front of the field. And Hennessy's going to pit this time. This leaves McAnally in the lead of the race, so he's going to get bonus points for leading the lap. Rickard is still in pit lane. Looks like he's just about to start rolling out of the pit lane now. Marquez is in the pits. There's also, you know, the possibility of how tricky the pit exit is here of you know, maybe a mid-cycle caution as McAnally pulls into the pits. Austin Collins will now lead his first laps of the race. Looks like Patrick Orr is going to come into the pits as well. You know what? We're probably going to grab Patrick Orr here as he's coming out of the pits. See how he handles it. Because as I said, this pit exit along the apron can be a bit difficult. As Ortega and Hernandez come into the pits. I think I can see him rolling now. Yep, he's rolling. Let's see how he handles the pit exit here. He gets through the first part of it fine. Seen a couple of races where just on the pit exit there, people have stuffed up big time. Other areas right here, just during the transition. Oh, and it's tripped him up. The transition to get back on track. Caution is out. Patrick Orr has made a big bingle. Horton and Banks are in the pits. Patrick Orr pulled the ripcord. He's gone back to the pits. Let's back this up and see what occurred here for the 18 car. Get a different angle at it. And is he loose there already? Yeah, he's loose. Coming through the turn 2 section of the apron. And it's fired him straight into the outside wall. Just behind him there, that's Jonas Marquez. And Jonas, what an amazing job. He gets a little bit of netcode damage. It popped right back out. But great hands there for Jonas to miss the spinning Patrick Orr. And this has just changed the entire scope of this race. The Taco Bell 74, Austin Collins leading the way as Joshua Banks is in the pits. He's going to go a lap down here. We have 9 cars on the lead lap. That's Collins, Cocker, Harmon, Watson, Pizzakemi, Lansford, Champeau, Sanders, and Horton. Everyone else has pitted. So they're all going to be hunting for the wave around when all of the lead lap cars come into the pits. Although, wait, didn't Horton pit already? Oh, this could change everything. If Horton already pitted under green, then he will not pit under this caution. It doesn't look like he's pitted yet, so we might see him come into the pits here as all of the top runners come into the pits now. You'd be silly not to come into the pits. Yeah, even Horton's come down into the pits, so he did not pit yet. I think he was probably getting ready to pit when the caution came out, and he quickly made the choice to change tack and go back to the track. And we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 waiver rounds. Now, Hennessy was the lucky dog recipient, so he's come into the pits for a fresh set of tyres as well. So that makes 12 waiver rounds we're going to have. But the 74 of Austin Collins, he's not even going to be the leader. The leader is right in front of him. The 11 of Jimmy Cocker has come out of the pits with the lead. He had 14.4 seconds in his pit box. And that was 5/10 faster than Austin Collins. The half a second difference in being stationary in your pit box is all that it took for Jimmy Cocker to take the lead here coming out of the pits. As the waiver rounds proceed to begin, Jimmy Cocker looks like he has selected the inside line. There's going to be Cocker, Collins, Harmon, Watson, Champeau, Pizzicami, Lansford, Sanders, Horton, Hennessy. That's your top 10. And then we've got Banks, McAnally, Baylor, Campbell, Cook, Rickard, Griesbaum, Kraus, Masia, Marquez. That's to 20th. Then Ortega and Hernandez and Patrick Orr is OUT out of this race. And this, as I said, has changed the entire dynamic of this race. All the fast guys who have already pitted are going to be at a massive disadvantage. This brings people like Pizzicami, Champeau, and Thomas Harmon into this race. Also brings Watson into this race. Hernandez is in this race. Everyone else might not have had much laps on the tyres, but that don't mean anything. As the pace car pulls in, we're about to reach the Geico restart zone. And we're off and racing once more as Cocker waited till the very end of the restart zone to get going there. But it's to the big advantage of all the inside line. As Thomas Harmon immediately jumps into second. Austin Collins just not very good at restarts, but look at the 12 of Chris Champeau trying to take over third. As Thomas Harmon goes for the lead. And Harmon will take it coming off of turn 4, but Cocker will have the momentum of the outside line. Fresh tyres, I think, favour the bottom around here, although Cocker just squeezing out the lead there. Couldn't have been more than about 0.2 of a second between them, if that. But this time, Harmon will clear Cocker as they come off of turn 4. We got Austin Collins still sitting there in third. He was able to hold on over Chris Champeau. Brian Pizzicami in 5th. Pizzicami, we know, is a hard charger. He likes to charge his way through the field front to back. He doesn't like qualifying. I get it. He was taking a little peek to the inside there of Chris Champeau. Couldn't quite get it pulled off. But look at the side-by-side battling here for the third position. As Cocker looks like he's going to lose the spot to Chris Champeau. But the battle for the lead is also on. As Collins dove to the inside of Harmon, but Harmon, with the momentum of the outside, is going to hold on. As I said early in the run here, tyres will be a little bit on the colder side. The lends to a little bit of a looser condition with the tyres. Oh, and you saw there, Thomas Harmon loose going through turn 3. Oh, big door from Austin Collins. That's checked up the field massively. Cocker down onto the AstroTurf to take advantage. Look at the mess that that's made. pandemonium there. One checked up car, and now Austin Collins has nearly a half a second gap over Thomas Harmon in P2. And Harmon might have a little bit of damage from that as well. Look at the bee's nest behind him. These are the African stinging bees. I'd call them wasps, but we'd need boom tubes for that. I think I saw a little bit of a battle there just behind this group as well, involving the 25 of Sanders. He's starting to march his way up through the field a little bit. There's Joshua Banks as well in the 35. The 19 of McAnally, the 15 I saw as well of Campbell. These guys on a couple lap older tyres, trying to fight their way through. We have a battle for the lead once more. Harmon up the inside, takes it with authority. And he leads that lap. Collins has got to be cooking up something, and I'm not just talking about the Taco Bell. Although the gas that's produced from Taco Bell could definitely give him a bit of a nitro boost. It seems like things here at the front have kind of settled a little bit. It's settled with Harmon in front over Collins and Pizzakemi in third. Hennessy in fourth. Now, everyone should be able to make it to the end from here, as Collins will dive to the inside once more, trying to take the lead back. But look at the momentum boost from Harmon on the outside. That seam has been working wonders for Harmon in 3 and 4. Although Collins did just squeeze his nose into the lead, and that was by less than a tenth of a second. But here comes the horde. 2x2 racing for the lead will do this. They had a little bit of a gap. Now everyone has caught back up. It doesn't even matter if everyone else is 2x2. As long as the front two are 2x2, it will slow them both up. Everyone else reaps the benefit of the draft. As Harmon squeezes ahead of Austin Collins as they go around through turns 1 and 2. Pizzakemi is now going to try and fight for second. He's right on Thomas's tail. We saw him and Thomas practicing a longer run earlier in the pit parties. Now we're running together quite nicely. And Pizzakemi, also another one who's tasted victory here. He got the Coke 600 victory on the Thursday night in NIS. Ran all 400 laps, and once he took the lead, he didn't look back. Hernandez has really fallen off the perch. He's gone all the way down to 19th. I think that was due to all the confusion of when everyone got checked up earlier. Austin Collins starting to lose some positions, hand over fist. As they go 2x2 from third on back. Well, I say third on back, but it's not really third on back. It's just for fourth. And there's a couple of single files, and then it's 2x2. Although that's not without trying by the looks of things. Hennessy trying to look for the move on Pizzakemi. Hennessy really good on his tyres. Pizzakemi's tyres might be a couple laps fresher, but that don't mean anything to a hardened veteran like Hennessy. There's Cocker trying to get back to the inside of the 12 of Champeau. That's the battle for fourth. Let's keep an eye on this battle for fourth, actually, because they're still side by side. Although just at that moment, the 94 of Hennessy raged up to the inside of Pizzakemi, but Pizzakemi very wisely using that outside run to maintain. So too did the 12 of Chris Champeau, to be fair. But look at the momentum they both got. The momentum of just Chris Champeau there alone. Pizzakemi swapped from the middle to the bottom on exit. He diamonded the corner. Cocker was trying to look for another inside move on Champeau. Couldn't get there. Now he's going to look to the outside. Right up near the fence, running the Larson line. Wisely moves down from the fence, going through turn 4, because that's where cars usually get very tight. As now he's looking to the inside of Hennessy, who is side by side with Chris Champeau. They're side by side for the lead, as Brian Pizzakemi looking to take it out and lead a lap here in the Sim Racing Hub 165. Pizzakemi would be absolutely chuffed if he was able to take out the Coke 600 and take out the simracinghub.com 165 here as well. We're forever grateful to TWRS as well for sponsoring the Chase to the Cup. It looks like for now things have kind of settled out here in the top 5 at least. Although in saying that, Pizzakemi got a really good run there off of turn 4. Unfortunately, unable to do anything with it. Straight to the outside line was the 12 of Chris Champeau. He wants that fresh air on his nose. And it looked like we had a moment there going through turn 2. I thought something was wrong. And now Pizzakemi goes to the outside. Gives all the dirty air to the 12 of Champeau. Almost contact between the 12 and the 94. Jimmy Cocker right there as well. Gotta focus on Cocker here a little bit. He's right in behind. In fact, let's go on board with him. This is such a terrible view. Let's go to his nose cam. That's not his nose cam. That's his nose cam. They go fighting down to turn 1. He's to the outside of Hennessy. Oh, and there's contact. I think there was more contact in behind. Caution's out. We got to see what happened there. There was definitely some kind of shenanigans here. So focusing on the 11. They come out of turn 2. Hennessy moved up quite aggressively. There's a little bit of contact to the nose of the Cocker car. Oh, and unfortunately, mechanically, nowhere to go. Collected by the 74 of Austin Collins. Both of them simultaneously spinning down to the inside wall on the track. And that is quite unfortunate for the pair of them. They gather it back up, get it back going again. I think we're going to take this advantage to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to see how things shake out, see if anyone decides to pit here. So make sure you guys stay tuned. More action from the Sim Racer Hub 165 right here from the Aussie Sim Commentator channel coming up shortly. welcome back to the SimRacerHub.com 165 here from the Charlotte Motor Speedway as we are in our first round of the Team Watson Racing setups. Chase for the Output Cup. Everyone pitted. We still have a couple cars on pit road. There's been Collins and McAnally, of course, getting damage fixed. But yeah, we're riding on the back of the pace car here. Thomas Harmon came into the pits in first, came out of the pits in first. And he's going to choose the outside line for this restart. Let's see, 39, James Watson right up there as well in fourth. He might have taken two. Let's have a look at the pit times here. Oh, yeah, 9 seconds. He took two tires. He's going bold. You probably thought he was going to come out of it with the lead. But he definitely gained a lot of positions with that bold strategy. But when there's just, 9 laps to go when we get the green here, very understandable that he would give that a try. The two cars that caused that whole hullabaloo are going to be sitting there on the third row in 5th and 6th. The 94 of Hennessy and the 11 of Cocker. I said 9 laps, I was wrong. 19 laps. Sometimes I'm just two halves of a whole idiot. But here we go for what is hopefully going to be the last restart of this race. Thomas Harmon selected the outside lane. Brian Pizzicami on the inside in P2. The pace car makes that hard left turn into pit lane. When is Harmon gonna fire off? And he goes about halfway through. Great jump. Caught everyone unawares. Brian Pizzicami will slot into second. What can James Watson do with two tires? Front two single filed out very quickly. Although here comes the 12 of Chris Champeau. Trying to fight to the inside. James Watson, he got tight. They're 3 wide. A very tight 3 wide at that. And it looks like Chris Champeau is the piggy in the middle. It's now Campbell and Banks who surround him. 11 and the 94 now battling over 4th and 5th. Campbell is going to try and wheel Cocker ahead, which he has done. Watson doing a really good job here in the 39 car. Now it looks like the 94 will take the advantage once more on the inside line. But not if Banks gets up there. Now Cocker has the 94 on his nose, pushing him down the back straight. The 15 was pushing him as well. Very close quarters combat here. As laps are winding down. We'll have 15 to go at the line next time by. Oh, look at how close Cocker gets to the side of Hennessy. Banks got off in front of them. Oh, Cocker got tight. Almost got to the side of Hennessy. He did get into the side of Hennessy. Oh, there's a big one. It's a huge one. This has taken quite a few cars. Oh, a late touch there for Jonas as well. Such good hands before, unfortunately, all coming a cropper this time. So let's slow this down, get a different angle, and let's put this on the 11 of Cocker. They got tight there, and the 94 is pinching really hard. And up the inside, here comes the 12. Oh, hang on a second. I need to watch this back. in slower slow-mo. I think there might have been a little bit of netcode at play here. I backed it up a little bit too far. And then I hit the wrong button. There's possibly a little bit of contact there with the 94. Here comes the 12. Is there a little bit of netcode contact there? That's hard to tell. Could be a little bit of contact, could be a little bit of 11 just getting tight. Hard to say. We'll speed it up a little bit here. And Campbell getting into the back of Hennessy a little bit. Griesbaum gets a huge piece of Cocker. Unfortunately, Sanders nowhere to go. Hernandez nowhere to go. Scott Rickard somehow squeezes his way through that. Go back to the other side. There's a 13 of Masia nowhere to go. The 7 has big front end damage. Where's Jonas and all this? There's Jonas. Let's take this back. And let's actually watch this at full speed from the cockpit cam. This one's on top of the seat. Oh, he's accelerating into it. He saw all the smoke and he was accelerating into it. Unfortunately, that one little move there for Hennessy, and that was all it took for Marquez to catch a piece of it. But I just want to take this back again. Listen to the throttle. There's the smoke. Everyone's checking up. He accelerated past that car that he passed there. I think that was Collins. And boom, straight into the nose of Hennessy. Oh, that's unlucky. For the ASPCA car. But what this does mean is we're going to get another restart here. And if my calculations are correct, we'll probably get the restart with about 10 or 11 to go. Hennessy, understandably, is in the pits and has gone a lap down. Unfortunately, his car is out and he is out. He'll be officially scored in the 22nd position. So I think it's going to be about 10 to go when we get the green flag here. So lap 102 for the restart. And I actually want to check out the 15 here as we get a little bit of games being played. See if we can get a tighter shot on the 15 of Campbell. Can't really tell if there's any damage to it from this angle. I really want to see the left side of this car, as everyone from 11th on back has pitted. I'm pretty sure 99% of those 11 are ones who were involved in that incident. Again, not a great view here. Oh, this in-build camera doesn't seem to pick up anything there. And it's a good thing we don't have cameras on the side of these cars, or else his left side one would probably be snickered off by Hennessy. Ugh. Let's see, it'll be 12 to go this time by. Lights will go out and we'll get the green with 11 to go. So there we go. I did say 10 or 11 earlier on. So it'll all come down to this. Now don't forget, James Watson up here in third. He's only on 2 fresh tyres. His left sides have been at it since that caution at lap 65. Was it 65? Yeah, lap 65. Hey, it's my number. Going to 2x2 formation once more, and once more, Thomas Harmon has picked the outside line. Remember, he can go at any point after he enters that restart zone. But what an exciting way to start the Team Watson Racing setups chase for the Output Cup. What a great position here for Brian Pizzicami as well. Right up there with a chance to win this thing. As the rest of the field start to catch up now. We've got Banks up there in 4th. Campbell still up there with a shot. He's in P6, the 12 of Chris Champeau. The pole sitter, the 2 of Reggie Ortega, up there with a shot. He's in 7th. 8th is Scott Rickard. Here we go, getting ready for the restart. Pace car will make that hard left turn into pit lane for hopefully the last time here tonight. Let's see if we can finish this out. And we are green. As what a start from Banks on the outside. He was right on Thomas's tail that whole time and he got a fantastic restart. A really sluggish restart there for the 78 of Pizzicami, which will drop him to 3rd. They go 3 wide behind him. In fact, they're 3 wide behind the 15 of Campbell. The battle is on for the lead. It's Champeau, Rickard and Watson that were 3 wide. Banks and Harmon battling it out hard. It was just Harmon at the line, 10 to go. Hernandez still experimenting with alternate dimensions. Carl Kraus up there battling for 11th with Hernandez. And he's just dropped a couple. Harmon still leading the way. Banks got super tight. He clouts the fence. Watson on 2 tyres has moved up into 3rd underneath of Pizzicami. 2 tyres might have been the call. Let's have a look at what's going on back here. It is a wasp nest of activity. Got the 12 of Champeau up the inside of Pizzicami. There's the 15 of Campbell, the 05 of Rickard, the 2. We also have the big L himself, Logan Lansford, who I'm pretty sure his best finish here on a Tuesday night is 3rd. But look at this battle, it's fantastic. Who says you can't get good racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the A cars? Because they're all so tight. These guys have been putting on an absolute clinic here tonight. Oh, into the fence. I think that was the big L himself, Logan Lansford. There's such a tight battle going on here. There was smoke up ahead. Not sure what that was from. Might have been from the 7 of Kraus. He might have blown it up. And he has crawled back into the pits, and that'll be the end of his night. As they're just about 3 wide. They are 3 wide. Campbell. Oh, he's made contact. Contact with Ortega. Oh, big contact. Another big crash. That's going to be a caution. Unfortunately, Thad's caught a little bit of that. Sanders has caught it once more. Let's take this back to the exit of 4. Slow it down. Get a different angle. What happened here? So Campbell gets tight. He tracks a little bit towards the fence. Reggie Ortega sees the gap between Campbell and Rickard. And he sticks his nose in it. Rickard actually gets a really good run here off the bottom of the corner. There's Logan McAnally filling the bottom line now. So they're 3 wide coming off the corner. The 15 gets into the fence. Oh, there's contact ahead. Wait a second here. That was big contact ahead. Putting the 78 and the 12. Let's check this out real quick. And then we'll go to the incident in which we're under caution for. See the 12, Chris Champeau, getting super tight. And just forces Pizzakemi into the fence. Absolutely body slammed him into it. And Pizzakemi still probably feeling the effects of the wall hit. Comes back down and hits him once more. And you can see in the background there, the 15 comes down, just taps Reggie Ortega in the right rear. That gets them both a little bit unsettled here. Reggie probably more so than Ken. Ken's just about up in the fence. Oh, and in the process of saving it, came back down again and back into Reggie once more. And he's still loose. He still hasn't saved it. One more tap into the right rear. And that is all she wrote for these two. Straight up. Slide. Smash into the fence. Simultaneous damage and fixes. Then Andrew Griesbaum. Nowhere to go. Innocent victim. Who else we got? The 61, Corey Cook. Innocent victim. 21, Thad Faylor. Innocent victim. Actually, that's the 11. That's Cocker. There's Thad coming into it. Getting into Reggie. Austin Collins, does he get through it? He does not. He cops a little bit. Does Thad get 2 pieces of it? Thad does get 2 pieces of it. So let's go check on Griesbaum. Griesbaum was up in the fence with that silver car. And I think that's Jack Sanders in the 25. The Sanders. You know what, Sanders is going to have one hell of a view of this. So let's pause it. Let's go check out his cockpit camera. And let's watch this unfold in real speed. And there it is right there. Oh, he ghosted through the Reggie Ortega car, but unfortunately could not avoid Griesbaum. So this is going to set us up for a grandstand finish here, I think. So I'm pretty sure if my math is mathing correctly, we should be getting the green with 2 laps to go. Thomas Hardman leading the way from Joshua Banks, James Watson, Chris Campbell, and Brian Pizzakemi. Sorry, not Chris Campbell, Chris Champeau. Why did I say Campbell? Now, I'm actually curious here as to whether there is damage on the 12 and the 78. Because they did make really heavy contact with each other and the fence. At least the 78 made heavy contact with the fence. You see the inside view. No damage on the 78, which is where the damage would be. Well, some of the damage. No damage to the inside of the 12. If we can get an outside view, maybe. And we're not going to find out on the Pizzakemi car because he's pulled into the pits. Must feel like there's some damage there. Did Chris just get into the back of the 39 car? Oh, he did. He gave a little how's it going to the back of James Watson. No damage to the right side of his car though, which is where I would expect his damage to be. So it is going to be Harmon, Banks, Watson, Champeau, Rickard, McAnally, Hernandez, Cocker, and Collins as your top 9. 10th on back is pitted. Fizikami, I'm pretty sure, is getting some damage fixed after the heavy wall contact. Lansford's going to be in 10th with Failer in 11th. Everyone else still getting damage fixed. A lot of cars were involved in that incident. Griesbaum 12th, Sanders 13th. Just waiting to see if anyone else going to make some moves out. There's Cook, he's going to be 14th. Just waiting on Massio, Horton, Pizzicami, Marquez, Ortega, and Campbell. I didn't see Horton get into it, but he might have gotten into someone on the infield, possibly. Marquez is making a move out onto the track. So too was Massio. Massio is going to be 15th. Marquez is going to be 16th. We've got Horton in 17th, Pizzicami 18th, Ortega and Campbell. I would have to say their days are done. As we go back into the 2x2 formation, and we are going to get a green-white checkered here as Corey Cook has come back into the pits, the Cookie Monster himself, getting some more damage fixed. Just really sneakily here while he has the chance. But Thomas Harmon absolutely in the box seat here to try and take the win, as there's a little bit of an issue there with the grass banking. Joshua Banks in a great position to try and take advantage of a bad Harmon start. James Watson up there in P3 on 2 tyres. The 2 tyre strat is real. But here we go. The pace car makes that hard left turn into pit lane. 2 laps to go. When does Harmon fire off in the box? He goes about halfway through. And Banks read it like a book. Straight up to the inside of Harmon. Harmon might have spun his tyres slightly. Banks trying everything he can to try and take over the lead. Look at James Watson holding on to 3rd. We're still going to keep watching this battle for the lead as Harmon takes the advantage down the back straight into 3 and 4. Who's going to take the advantage? It's still going to be Harmon with the advantage. Banks trying to side draft. Contact. At the line, white flag, last lap, last chance to win it or wear it. Banks was the leader. 2x2x2x2. More contact. The 12 got shoved into the fence. Look at James Watson go. He's now to the inside of Thomas Harmon. Thomas back to the outside. Contact as James got tight. Coming to the line, Joshua Banks is going to take home the win over Thomas Harmon and a hard charging James Watson there. 4th goes away to Scott Rickard. 5th was Jonathan Hernandez. You see P6 there, Logan McAnally. 7th, Collins. 8th, Cocker. 9th, the Big L himself, Logan Lansford. 10th, Chris Champeau. And we've got Fallow, Massia, Griesbaum, Horton, Pizzicami, Marquez, Cook, Sanders, Campbell, and Ortega wrapping up your top 20. go over the page one more time. Kraus, Hennessy, and Orr all bowing out of this race. You see in the background here, Joshua Banks getting ready to give it a big rip with the burnout. But that was such an awesome race. And normally I'll do a little bit of a driver review here, but my brain is so confuggled that I just don't even know, bro. So we're just going to let Banks enjoy his burnout here. Let's take off the leaderboard real quick. Get the burnout in full screen. And James Watson is also the hard charger of the race. 14th to 3rd, going plus 11. So well done, James Watson. That 2-tire strategy there at the end of the race was absolutely fantastic. And my commiserations to Pizzakemi. That damage that he got from Chris Champeau absolutely ruined his race. But that is going to be all for us here tonight. Thank you all so very much for coming out and having a watch. And next week, we will have our next race. Round number 2 in the chase for the Output Cup. Brought to you by TWRsetups.com. And that is going to be at the Michigan International Speedway. 75 laps coming your way. So until then, I've been your commentator, the Aussie Sim commentator. We'll see you guys in Detroit.